Good evening, everyone. This is Dawn Baker reporting again live from our WTOC live desk with some election results for you. I know a lot of you all have been thinking about Skidaway Island and trying to find out whether they voted to incorporate or not. Our Sean Evans has been on the story all day and throughout the evening. He is there live now. Sean, what are the results?
Yeah, Don, right now on Skidaway Island, I just got done speaking with some folks who are opposed to incorporation. Obviously, their votes taking the majority tonight. A feeling of victory inside the Village Bar and Grill here on Skidaway Island. You'll hear from that group ahead at 11. But the numbers that we're getting in from the Chatham County Board of Elections office tonight is the noes have it 62.5% to 37.5% roughly. There are two outstanding provisional ballots, we're told by the Chatham County Board of Elections. That won't have any bearing on the results of this race. Looking at voter turnout, the Chatham County Board of Elections chairman was telling us earlier that he thought close to 80% could be turning out to this. 72% of the 8,000 registered voters out here on Skidaway Island showed up tonight. So clearly a very important issue to folks out here, a very divisive one as well. And you'll hear from the crowd that I spoke to earlier about that division in the community and how they hope they can move past that now that this vote is behind them officially. Again, the noes against incorporation having the majority, 62.5% to 37%. Again, we'll have a full wrap-up just ahead on WTOC at 11. For now, I'm reporting live on Skidaway Island. Sean Evans, back to you.
We're covering a few other races going on in our community tonight, including in Richmond Hill. There was a very quick finish there with Christy Cox winning the Post 1 seat with 57% of the vote. And also in Toombs County, we want to let you know that for the East Bloss for Toombs County and Vidalia, they voted to renew that tax by 85% of the vote. And in Hinesville, there will be a runoff for city council between Carl A. Riles and James R. Ryan Jr. We'll continue to follow all the other special election races going on throughout the Coastal Empire and Low Country. And as soon as we get new numbers, we'll come back to you live online. And of course, we'll have the very latest tonight for you on the news at 11, including reaction from the winners.
Yeah?
Wait just a second because I didn't turn the thing on, so I'll call you back in like 60 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Good evening, everyone, and we are watching the tides and watching some pretty chilly temperatures waking up tomorrow morning. Cold, in fact, I think. Well below average for this time of year thanks to a cold high pressure set in. It's giving us a very strong northerly fetch. And so I wanted to talk about the forecast tides for tonight. I think they're receding right now. But I actually don't think that the tide calculator has caught up. I know it was about 9 feet. The forecast was 9.2. It'll recede, and then tomorrow morning it's forecast to hit about 9.7, and Tybee Road does start to flood around 9.4 feet. So we could see some water encroach Highway 80. Don't know if they'll close the roadways just yet, but you can guarantee that Savannah Police will be out there watching, as well as Tybee Island Police right around Fort Pulaski. So it is based on the tides and based on the moon, and the moon will be closer in its perigee than usual. I misspoke a little bit at 5:30, and my brain went boop. I was asked a question. So normally at perigee, it's about 240,000 miles away from Earth. This perigee, and it being a full moon, the full worm moon, it will be about 223,000 miles from Earth. So that makes it appear almost 10% larger than normal. The best time to get that, I think is when it's rising and it's on the horizon and it looks really full instead of, like in the sky, because you can't compare it to anything. So you have that viewpoint, that comparison. So Wednesday's moon set is going to be tomorrow morning at 7:25. The problem is, I'm checking my notes, is that sunrise is at 7:28. So you're going to get a nice little hue out there, but it may not be as bright because it won't be dark. It'll be right around daybreak. Then Wednesday's moon rise is at 7:23, and sunset is at 7:27. So you're going to get a nice sunset and then a full moon rise right around the same time within 10 minutes. But once again, it's not going to be as brilliant because it won't be dark. The darkest time to get that Thursday moonrise, and this will be about 98% full and this will be 99% full, is going to be Thursday moonrise, and that is at 8:31, and the sunset is at 7:36. So you almost have a full hour after the sun sets. So that's going to be a bright white moon rising. And I think we're going to have some clearer skies on Thursday versus Wednesday from top to bottom. So I put that out on my Facebook page if you want to go ahead and look so you don't have to scroll back through this Facebook Live. And you could share that graphic that I made. First alert live radar on a slow sweep, but you see the clouds around. So right here is where that front stalled out that moved through yesterday. A little area of low pressure is going to develop along that. So that's going to continue to stream in clouds from the west and from the Atlantic. So we'll have some coastal clouds for sure, and we have strong northeasterly fetch because high pressure is just kind of pushing the tide in. Right now, you see where there are some breaks in the clouds, Scriven, northern Effingham, Statesboro, clear skies, most of Tattnall County, Candler County, but Evans County back through the I-95 corridor, seeing those clouds pretty thick right now and along the coast. Current temperatures not too bad, 53 Savannah, 53 Hinesville, 55 on Hilton Head. And you can see those northeasterly breezes right along the water. I know a lot of people have spring break. Makes me laugh because whenever I would go on spring break to my grandparents in Florida, it would always rain. And no matter what, we would do our thing. We went to Busch Gardens in the rain. We went to Disney in the rain. And my mom was like, I paid for this. We're going to do it. So I feel you. I feel you if you're heading up to the beach anytime this week, because it won't really get better until probably Friday. Probably Friday's going to be our Friday and Saturday and Sunday are going to be our best beach days. And then you're thinking, oh, well, then it's going to be crowded because most people are going to go. I hear you. Dew points are running low. It's pretty dry out there. We talked about that at 5:30 because I was especially, my interest in it was piqued because of that 40-acre brush fire near Chevis Road. So even though, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's muddy, we don't need the rain, there's some dry tinder out there, some dry grass, and the air is pretty dry. Here's our forecast for tomorrow morning. 39 Sylvania, 38 Statesboro. There will be a wind chill in play with winds out of the northeast coming in at about 10 miles an hour in the morning, picking up to 15 in the afternoon. So right now, let's go ahead and go through Wednesday morning. 43 in Savannah feels like 38. So 38 in Statesboro feels like 33. It's going to feel like freezing. Now, we don't have any frost advisories in place, but just if you want to be careful, and I have a little lemon tree that I'm trying to love on as much as I can. I was really, really good with it last year throughout the whole year, and I got about 20 lemons off of it. And now I have not been as good to it this year, and I feel really bad. So if you want to take care of those plants, go ahead. Now, we'll have some sunshine, but because that area of low pressure off in the Atlantic, streaming in clouds. So the low country going to be a little cloudier than, say, Jessup and Glenville. This is held true. We talked about this last night. 64 in the afternoon. And even on Thursday morning, I'm going to pause it here. No rainfall to watch, just some cloud coverage. 43 feels like 40 in the morning. So what's up, Anthony Williams? Hello, Judy. Hello, Aquila. Is it Aquila or Akia? Sherry Gamez, how are you? Deborah Johnson. Renee Steele Porter, how are you, from Statesboro? Yes, we mentioned that. We did a Facebook Live at 8:30. So that was a no vote for Skidaway. Thanks for the update. Tamika McAfee, how are you? Anthony Steverson. Sabrina Hannah, hi. Penny Coffee, hi. What about the pollen count look through the rest of the weekend? It's on the rise. Unfortunately, we have not gotten a pollen count all week. Last time I checked, it was about 200-ish parts per cubic meter. It's interesting because I was talking, when I said that number was high, oh gosh, it was when Pat was still here, and we had a pollen count of like 5,000 parts per cubic meter. So that's what people are like basing their standard on. But anything over 99 parts per cubic meter is high, and so pollen will be running high for the rest of the week. Okay? What's up, Randall? How are you? Warm weather. There you go. What this do to our tides? You mean the moon? Is that what you're talking about? What's up, Patrick? And I really appreciate. Oh, I really appreciate the cool weather too. So Lisa Melton Sykes, is this right? Is that right? Did I get that right? Lisa Melton. Let's talk about what it's doing to our tides. So you have a full moon, which obviously kind of enhances the height of the tide. It's also closer to the Earth. That's why it's a supermoon. So that's going to up it a little more. And we have high pressure just to the north of us, and it's creating an onshore flow. These winds are coming out of the northeast. So that pushes in the water even more. It's almost like a small storm surge. Okay? So if we're talking about a hurricane, we talk about that push from the Atlantic. Now we're talking about high pressure pushing the tide even further in. And that high pressure is not moving anywhere because there's a stationary front right here. So high pressure here, stationary front, that's why our tides are going to run high, plus the moon, for the next 2 mornings. So let me go back and show you the projected tide. Here's the moonset, moonrise. I personally think Thursday's moonrise at 8:30 will be that bright white moon that you're going to see. Moonrise on Wednesday evening will be really close to sunset, which might be cool to get the sun setting and the moon rising. But once again, if you want that bright white, dark, because sunset's about an hour ahead of the moonrise on Thursday. Here's the tide. I think we peaked out about 9.1 tonight. And it's receding now. The tide calculator hasn't really caught up over there. And then Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, that's when we could see some of that tidal flooding along Highway 80. So it's usually an hour before and an hour after. Be careful out there. We haven't heard anything from the schools. Last time when we did have some Highway 80, the schools did an hour delay, but we'll see. It's made it up to 9.8 before, officially at the Fort Pulaski gauge, and it hasn't flooded Highway 80. But I think that it's just dependent. It's just dependent how high it gets tomorrow. So I didn't get to the 7-day. Let me zoom out here. Stationary front to the south of us. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds pretty much through Thursday. Current temperatures in the 50s. There's that northerly, northeasterly wind just pushing our tides into our barrier islands there. Pretty dry out there as far as the dew point goes. Keep that in mind. We had that small, well, it's a 40-acre brush fire near Chevish Road. It could have been started by the train. That happens sometimes, especially in the summer. It's really dry, and so if you are doing any yard work, be very, very careful about how and what you're burning. Low dew points, strong northeasterly winds, dry conditions. Be very careful. Temperature forecast for tomorrow, 38 in Statesboro. That's the chilliest. May feel like 33 because if we get down to 43 in town in Savannah, it'll feel like 38 with a north breeze at 8 miles an hour. So it's going to be chilly tomorrow, cold in fact. We'll warm up to about 64 in the afternoon. Even a wind chill in play because of those northwesterly winds, but they'll be out of the west starting Thursday. So we get a little bit of a break Thursday, even though our tides are still going to run high. 43 feels like 40 in the morning. No rain. Here's a cold front that's going to try to make its way through on Thursday night. And somebody may get a tiny shower, but we didn't even put rain in the 7-day. So here are highs heading into Wednesday. A little cooler in the low country with a couple of extra clouds out there. Did you notice? Oh, gosh, I got to go back through. I wish it would just stop at that one thing. So you see the cloud coverage here, pretty much inundating the low country all the way through Charleston and Myrtle Beach, but a little bit more sunshine out here. That's why Jessup tomorrow will almost get up to 70. Statesboro 61, Sylvania 60, and we're in the 50s except for maybe Hardyville 63 for the low country. Your first alert forecast. Spring officially starts. The vernal equinox is at 5:58 Wednesday evening. So the first full day of spring is on Thursday. And then the slow climb into the 70s. Next chance of rain comes Monday evening into Tuesday. On the other side of this front, they're going to be talking about some 60s. So we will still have 60s in the forecast. It's not over yet. Don't break out the shorts for good just yet, okay? What about our plants, Debbie Cooper? So that was just a wind chill. We do not have any frost advisories. If you do live west of 95, even if you live in Pooler, Bloomingdale, Eden, Rincon, you can if you want to. But but we won't get down to a freezing point, and it won't be a prolonged freeze or prolonged 30s. Okay. What's up, Ann Armstrong? Hi, Lily. And yeah, so yeah, I was just saying that the coldest temperature out there is 38. So we're not under any frost advisories. But if you feel the need, and I kind of feel it, I kind of feel the need to protect my little lemon plant. So if you want to, go ahead, but by no means is it absolutely necessary. But if you want to play it cool, if you want to, be super cautious, yeah, go ahead. Otherwise, I think we're done. And I will see you guys on D News at 11. In the meantime, have a great Tuesday evening. Good night.